Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever had a thought, not an action, not a word, just a thought, and immediately felt ashamed, even though no one knew you thought it? Now imagine if someone did know. Not just someone, but something. Imagine a future where your thoughts aren't private, where your inner monologue, your doubts, your sarcasm, your questions, even the ones you never act on, are tracked, recorded, and scored. That future isn't a sci-fi film. It's already being tested, and I know that because last month, I failed my thought scan. It started when I enrolled in a neural health initiative. It was branded like a mental wellness program, part of a citywide pilot. They said it would help reduce stress, anxiety, emotional dissonance. You wore a lightweight band, like a Fitbit, but for your brain, and it monitored emotional spikes, thought patterns, mental fatigue. Sounded helpful, even progressive. I signed up. Why not? It was free. Plus, they gave you a $100 tax credit just for trying it. At first, it was harmless. The app would ping when it detected stress. Take a deep breath. If I lingered too long on negative headlines, it offered meditation playlists. If I had a spike of frustration, it suggested soothing visuals. It felt like having a therapist in your pocket, until it wasn't. The first warning came when I passed a government billboard that said, "Obedience is peace." I didn't say anything. I didn't post anything. I just thought something cynical, barely even a sentence. More like a feeling, a flicker of resistance, and instantly the band buzzed. Red light. Cognitive deviation detected. I paused, laughed, thought it must be a glitch. But then the app opened itself and displayed my current compliance index. I had dropped from 92% to 81% in 1 second. I didn't even know I had a score. I started noticing the scores everywhere after that. Subtle at first. Job applications now showed recommended minimum CI, 85%. Certain restaurants offered discounts to those above 90. People started adding their thought scores to their dating profiles. Just a 97% CI girl looking for her 98% guy. And the thing was, it worked. The world got quieter, more polite, no road rage, no public arguments, no protests. Even the trolls online disappeared. But so did the jokes, the art, the weirdness. And most importantly, the honesty. I tried to be good. I tried to stay within bounds. But the problem is, once you know your thoughts are being scored, you start censoring yourself before you even finish thinking. You question your own imagination. You prejudge your curiosity. You try to feel what's safe instead of what's real. And then came the audit. If you're still watching, ask yourself this. What thought would get you flagged if it were being monitored right now? Like this video, if this future feels a little too close to our present. Subscribe to 205X Stories for more truth-laced fiction from the edge of what's coming. And keep watching, because what happened after my audit still haunts me. The audit was unannounced. A black van showed up outside my apartment. No sirens, just a knock. A woman in a gray coat asked me calmly if I would accompany her for a thought review. She smiled, said I had nothing to worry about, that this was standard protocol for individuals showing emotional volatility paired with creative deviation patterns. I didn't even know what that meant. They took me to a sterile facility. No signs, just a logo, the same one on the thought band. Inside, I sat in a chair surrounded by mirrors, the kind where you can't tell if someone's watching. A man asked me simple questions. Do you feel safe? Have you had any rebellious thoughts lately? Have you recently consumed any non-regulated media? Every time I hesitated, the device buzzed. They said they weren't punishing me. They said they were helping me align, that I wasn't in trouble, not yet. But I needed neural reinforcement. That's what they called it. They fitted me with a new version of the device, thicker, wired deeper into my temple. It didn't just detect thoughts anymore, it interrupted them. If I started thinking something flagged as unproductive, I'd get a neural pulse. Not painful, just sharp, enough to steer the thought away. enough to make me forget where it was going. I started waking up in the middle of the night mid-sentence, with no memory of what I was trying to say. I'd be reading a book, and the words would blur if the theme shifted to something too complex. I'd try to journal, and my hand would cramp if I got too reflective. The worst part, I forgot my mother's face. Not because of grief. Because the last memory I had of her was in a dream, and dreams weren't compliant. Dreams were where your brain could roam, where your identity could protest, and the device didn't like that. I started dreaming less, and eventually, not at all. They said I was improving, that my compliance index had risen, that I was thinking cleaner, that I was a model citizen. But I didn't feel like me anymore. I felt like a simulation of myself, like a memory someone else was writing in real time. And then one night I did something reckless. I turned it off. Just for 10 minutes. 10 glorious, terrifying minutes. And in that window, I wrote a poem, a raw, ugly, beautiful piece of truth, about pain and anger and the desperate desire to feel something that wasn't curated. I saved it in a hidden file, encrypted it, locked it away, thought I'd gotten away with it. I was wrong. The next day, my score dropped to 58%. I got a warning from my employer. My landlord notified me of potential termination of lease due to behavioral irregularities. I wasn't arrested, I wasn't beaten, but I was erased from opportunity. That's how they get you, not with fear. With inconvenience, with exile. I tried to leave the city, but the exit toll scanned my index and flagged me for review. I was redirected to a reflection pod, locked inside, left alone with nothing but an AI voice whispering corrective affirmations on loop for 72 hours. When I emerged, I was quiet again. But something inside me had changed, not in a good way, not in a rebellious way, in a hollow way. I no longer had dangerous thoughts, because I no longer had any thoughts. I smiled on cue, nodded when expected, laughed when prompted. I became what they wanted, until today. Because today, I remembered the poem. And that's why I'm here. To tell you, before I forget again, that there was a time when your mind was your own. When you could feel without a filter. Speak without surveillance, dream without permission, and if you still can, don't waste that freedom. Final call to action. Your thoughts are the last thing you truly own. If this story disturbed you, good. That means you're still thinking for yourself. Hit the like button to resist neural control. Subscribe to 205X Stories for more dystopian warnings. Comment below, what's one thought you'd fight to keep private? And share this video with someone who still believes privacy is a given. Because one day soon it might not be.